patch. The downward-pointing arrowhead symbolizes the air-to-ground method of infiltration into enemy territory and the American Indian skills of fieldcraft and survival. The dark pattern with a light background indicates the capability for both day and night operations. The V stood for both valor and Vietnam. But more important, the school from hell gave its students the skills to outwit a deadly enemy in its own environment, skills that saved lives in the jungle and laid the groundwork for the future military surveillance operations. September 1968. The traffic was light as Don Lynch, the LRRP company's driver, took me from Phu Bai Airport to the LRRP compound at Camp Eagle. Lynch, who had driven this road 100 times, seemed deeply absorbed in something else as he drove past the endless Vietnamese concession stands. But this was my first look at Vietnam. I tried to take in everything. The roadside buildings made from cardboard and old flattened soda cans fascinated me. As the scenery rolled by, I tried not to breathe, but the smell of burning fuel oil and human feces was everywhere. I grabbed the underside of my seat with my left hand and held onto my duffel bag with my right. I studied everything as if it would give me a clue as to what was ahead. Our jeep bounced along the dusty road to Camp Eagle, home of the 101st Airborne Division. On the corner, an MP sat alone beside a weather-beaten bunker. The bunker was made out of layers of frayed and rotten sandbags. He waved us on. We left him choking in a cloud of dust. Lynch turned and said, "Here we are." I looked up. A small sign announced, "Camp Eagle, GLI Gate." We drove past endless strings of barbed wire, looped concertina, and bunkers. Lots of bunkers. The jeep slowed. We entered a second gate marked F Company, 58th Infantry, LRRP, eyes behind the lines. It was already difficult to remember what the outside world was like, and I hadn't been here 5 minutes. I was told to report to Sergeant Phil Byron, an E6 from Killeen, Texas. He hadn't lost a man on 25 patrols. I found him in his hooch, sitting on the edge of his cot. He was wearing worn-out tiger fatigues and chewing on a cigar. He was stocky, 5'8", and weighed about 180 pounds. He took out a book of matches, folded back the cover, rolled the match over his thumb, and struck it. "Where you from, Chambers?" "Born in California, Sergeant." He lit the cigar, blew out the match, and then began to show me the sort of gear I'd be carrying. He began a methodical inspection of his equipment, taking out each item and then replacing it so he could find it by feel. He continued to speak. "You've got to find everything quickly in the pitch black of a triple canopy jungle." He continued, "Always keep 18 rounds in your magazines, no more. Leave out 2 rounds. It puts less stress on the spring and gives you more snap, less risk of a jam." Sergeant Burnell, a burly E7, walked into Byron's hooch. He started to tell Byron that he had a new replacement for his team when he noticed me standing next to him. Without looking up, Byron answered, "I know." Burnell turned, then walked out of the hooch without saying another word. Byron was short, meaning he didn't have many days left in country. He was down to 29 days and a wake-up. This would probably be his last mission. He grabbed his black baseball cap and headed out the door. Motioning for me to follow, he said, "Come on, I'll show you where you can bunk. Find the mess hall yet?" "Nope, where do I go?" "Look behind you." I turned around and looked past the row of green mosquito nets to the rear of the hooch. "Just go out the back of the hooch, turn left, and follow the wall down past the next 3 hooches and the TOC. Look up and you'll see the 17th Cav mess tent. You have to go through the barbed wire fence." He continued walking to where I'd bunk. "You're gonna pull bunker guard tomorrow night. I'll try to put you on a watch detail without any of the heads." I gave him a puzzled look. "Heads?" I'd never heard that term before. "Heads are the pot smokers." He stopped abruptly and looked me in the eye. "You don't smoke dope." "No way, Sarge. I never tried that stuff. Don't even smoke cigarettes." "You don't yet. We got more heads in the company than Vietnam's got mosquitoes. But you hang out with Schwartz. He'll square you away." He paused, then continued. "We'll be going out in a few days. I think I'll have you carry a radio."